Chef
with Ryan.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you doing?
Hey, Peter. How are you, man?
Looking smart again today. Are you going on a date every Tuesday after the show?
Oh, maybe.
It looks like it, seriously. I would not decline a date invitation from you looking so dapper.
Well, thank you, sir.
Today, our hashtag, I don't know if you've got anything to say about this, but it's breaking stereotypes. So we were talking about Stevie Wonder. You know, when he was born into quite a poor background. He was blind. So everyone around him was like, oh, he's not going to amount to anything, you know.
Yeah.
He broke that stereotype. And then who I thought of was Park Ji-sung. You know, I don't know if you're into your soccer, but...
I know, yeah, I live down in Suwon, and that's where he's apparently from,
Yes,
right?
yes, that's right, yeah. So he broke stereotypes in Europe for being a really strong Asian soccer player, whereas they all thought, you know, Asian soccer players, they're really weak, they can't cut it here in the European leagues.
Right.
I wonder if anyone springs to mind for you, or you yourself maybe, even, Ryan. Do you think you've broken
I think it's a
some
really
stereotypes?
interesting topic. That's a good one. You know, when you grow up in the South, sometimes you can create stereotypes about people from the North. But yeah, anytime you can, you know, realize that you don't generalize, there's no need to generalize folks.
This is true.
You know?
Each case to its own, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my stereotype of people from the South, what I think, because I've never been there, right? I know very little. So is that not where country music is from, right?
Sure, yeah, but folks up, you know, there's some Yankees I know that like some country music too.
But is that like where the majority of artists come from and people like the singers?
Absolutely. You know, Willie Nelson has a picnic every year.
A picnic?
Or a few actually, and anybody can go out there. I don't think he charges anybody anything. I've got some friends that go out there every year.
They just have a picnic and he sings and performs?
Yeah, he's an incredibly famous guy, but just opened up to the public and come out to his ranch and have a good time.
That's cool. And Dolly Parton, she's from down...
Yeah, you know, I don't know a whole lot about Dolly Parton, but yeah, beautiful singer.
I thought everyone in the South had her posters on their walls. I thought it was obligatory.
There you go.
There's a stereotype. Yeah. You've broken it for me. Thank you very much, Ryan. So we are talking sweet potatoes today. I've been introducing it to our listeners, asking for their feedback. Or is there any reason for that?
Well, it's seasonal. We love seasonal food.
Is it in season now?
Well, it's really common to have here in the wintertime, kind of like strawberries. I've had kids tell me, "Oh, it's strawberry season." No, it's not actually strawberry season in winter in Korea. It's the time you see them the most because they're being grown in the greenhouses through the winter.
Oh,
and
really?
This is when they harvest them. Right. Because it's a low light plant, so it can be grown under lights in a greenhouse, or with just the natural low light that we have here in the winter. So. Now, sweet potatoes, we'll normally harvest them in the fall. They can grow through the winter. They can be underground. And you know, I had some planted through the winter last year.
Yeah.
And you'll get different kinds that way. But
Nice.
yeah.
Okay,
really
so-
common to have when it's cold outside.
Yeah, and it's great, like a roasted or boiled sweet potato just on its own, like to warm you up.
I think it's really underrated in the West.
Yes.
Did you grow up eating mini and...
Only because of my mother's influence as a
right.
South Korean. But getting the same types of sweet potato in the UK back then was actually impossible.
Right.
They have something which is completely different. I'm trying to think what it actually is compared to Korean sweet potatoes.
The big ones?
Like a completely different colour and texture, like very orange.
Yes.
Inside, but not like the Hobart ones that are nice and soft and like moist. Not like that, very dry.
You know, there's a crazy number of different kind of varieties of potatoes and sweet potatoes out there, and they all kind of originate from South America and came over to Asia. You know, it's something I was reading yesterday. Sweet potatoes have saved a lot of lives.
Really?
They really have, because
wow.
In a lot of countries where there would be tropical storms and crops would be destroyed, about 500 years ago or 300 years ago or 200, this sweet potato was introduced. And it was something that even if a typhoon came through and wiped out all the other crops, the sweet potatoes being buried in the ground would still be there after the storm. So they began, everybody began cultivating them. those places. So,
wow, that's
like the
good.
Philippines, Taiwan, and Korea and Japan, I guess.
So this is the type of sweet potato I remember from the UK, like the very kind of pale orange inside.
Well, that's before cooking, and the Korean ones, some of the Korean ones are like that before you cook them, and then after you cook them, they turn really yellow.
Oh.
I think we might have some pictures up of the 4 kinds that you find in Korea.
Okay, on our Instagram account, and Facebook, you can check
Possibly,
it out.
yeah. There we go. There's some of them.
Ooh, that looks so good. Mine, just looking at it straight up, the bottom left hand, where it's moist and it's sticky on the outside. You know it's going to be really sweet.
Do you know which one that one is?
No, I do. It's my favourite. That's what I call it.
Okay. Yeah, that one does look really good. I believe that's got to be the Hobak one.
The Hobak,
the
right?
Pumpkin one.
The chestnut, the palm style, is the much drier one, right?
Exactly.
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, it's called chestnut sweet potato in Korean, and it's really dry. So that one you want to steam it, to add some moisture. Whereas the mur, or the water sweet potato, that one you want to roast so that it'll dry out. They're actually the same potato.
Really?
It's just one is grown when it's a wetter climate and one is grown during a drier climate.
Wow, but they taste so different.
I know, yeah. But they're exactly the same species.
Unbelievable.
Just grown in different kind of climates.
Okay, so before we go any further, we've got a lot of feedback already because we asked everyone about sweet potatoes in their countries. So before we get onto some recipes, let's read a few of these. So Ying from Malaysia says, I love sweet potatoes. I usually eat it steamed at a pinch of salt to enhance the flavours. Oh, I've never tried that, actually. It can also be fried, and I usually fry it with yam and sweet sticky rice cakes. And also sweet potato fries are awesome. You can make sweet potato soup here as well. Cut it into chunks and boil it. Oh, I've never tried sweet potato soup.
And that's really similar to here. You can find all of those as well.
Yeah. Is there a sweet potato soup?
I just had one. I went to a mountain north of town just last week, and the first little dish they sent out in the kind of set menu was like a juk. It was like a porridge with sweet potato.
Really? Because I often get the hobak juk, as an appetizer if it's a course meal kind of thing.
Right.
But I don't think I've had.
It's not very common. It was the first time I'd ever seen it, but it works. It's good.
That's interesting. Siska in Indonesia says, here we usually make dessert from sweet potato or just boil and eat it. So kolak is sweet potato soup with brown sugar coconut milk.
Right,
Ooh.
yeah, sweeten it up even more, and then coconut, that
good.
makes sense.
Yeah, and then bola.
Almost like a latte.
Oh, yeah.
Like pumpkin latte, but you can do it with sweet potato as well.
You could, right? It wouldn't taste
It's
that
like
bad.
we have pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie. When I was a kid, I couldn't really tell the difference between the flavor of the two.
Oh, yeah, that's
so much sugar.
Is that a southern thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
In the UK, I
Sweet
never came
potato
across
pie.
that at all. So what is that? Is that like an actual dessert?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yes,
right.
sir.
So it's very sweet.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, you got to have some sweet potato pie.
Amazing. So Siska goes on to say there's also bola ubi, which is fried chewy sweet potato balls, and ku talam.
Oh, I bet it gets chewy with sticky rice.
That texture would be really good.
That would work, yeah.
Yeah, and ku talam is sweet potato traditional cake, so maybe a version of sweet potato pie there. Annie in Singapore says, I'm really looking forward to the second hour because I like sweet potatoes. I boiled them and roasted them. I would love to learn some new ways of cooking them. Orange and purple sweet potatoes are available here. That's the other one in the UK that I've recently seen in Korea as well, the purple ones, which the colour put me off. It was like, is that artificial? Like really, really bright.
That's all natural. There are like 4,000 different varieties of potatoes and sweet potatoes are in there.
Okay, so we're only going to do like 1,000 today.
Yeah, let's run through them.
And Pooper, the last one here from Indonesia, says sweet potatoes cooked, steamed, or when we're camping, we burn it in the bonfire, or I guess bake it in the bonfire.
Awesome. Yeah, you just forget about it in there and then dig them out later.
At the end. Some places here do that, like at the barbecues.
Oh, and you got to be careful too. If you I've burned my
They're
mouth
so
many
hot,
times.
aren't they? Yeah. Wait for them to cool down.
Yeah.
But there's also gorengan ubi, which is sweet potato in Bahasa, by the way. I have no idea what Bahasa is.
Well, let me see.
There you go, Ryan. You're the expert. You take it away. I think we also got a message here from Will that I saw. I know when I was young, I never really heard of sweet potatoes in Canada. I think that was because it may have not been liked as a side dish or to replace potatoes or made up as fried. But many years later, I love sweet potatoes with butter and brown sugar.
Oh, yeah, that's all you need.
Or sweet potato casserole, even. We had this in the past at Christmas Christmas, and it was really good.
With like marshmallows and sweet potatoes.
Seriously,
Yeah,
marshmallows and sweet potatoes.
Oh yeah.
They go to, I've got some marshmallows in my house and sweet potatoes.
Well, you basically get a casserole dish and mix a lot of butter into some sweet potatoes, and you can cover it with marshmallow and melt it all down in the oven.
Wow, and that tastes like a dessert, like an almost savory dessert.
Oh yeah, if you're into sweets, that'll wake you up.
I'm going to do that, right? That sounds absolutely insane, but gorgeous at the same time. All right, so apart from the ways like just steaming and baking them in the oven, which is what I think most people do, is easy, and it still tastes good. What are things that you can do to add to it?
Oh gosh, there's so many. There's a candied dish here. You've had that side dish sometimes where they'll steam them, and then they'll get a little bit of the mulyot or the salyot, the syrup on there, and so it's just kind of a candied sweet potato.
Yeah, it's almost like a little bit hard on the outside, especially the corners of the chunks and the sweetness, and then nice and soft inside.
Yeah, kind of like what we'll do back in the West sometimes, and do like a glazed sweet potato as a side dish.
Yeah.
That's the neat thing about it, is it's often dessert because it's sweet enough, but then it doesn't necessarily have to be, like folks mentioned, and putting a little bit of salt on there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I've seen a real trend in the UK now. Sweet potato fries are like everywhere.
Oh, I know,
they
right?
They never used to be anywhere.
Yeah, that hit the US years ago as well. I love them.
I love them. Yeah. When they're done right, they've got to be crispy on the outside and still soft in the middle. But sometimes they come out soggy, and I don't know how to cook them at home. Like, my mum has tried a couple of times, but they always come out a bit floppy, a bit soggy.
The oil maybe not hot enough.
Is that the key?
Yeah,
Getting
usually.
Really hot.
It's got to be pretty hot, so you have to have an oil that can handle that kind of heat. You know?
Oh, wow. And then it's simple, right? You just deep fry them just like regular potato fries.
Oh, I would, with the sweet potatoes, the varieties we have here, I've done it before, and we'll boil them first, and then let them dry, let them kind of like steam out a little bit, and then drop them in the fryer. Another neat trick that a chef friend of mine showed me here in Seoul is if you boil them, and then as soon as you take them out of that boiling water, bag them and freeze them. And then as that moisture is steaming out of this hot potato in the freezer, it's freezing on the edges of each sliced fry, right? And then when you go to drop them in hot oil, that extra starch is on the edges, so you get this really nice texture on the outside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you want to go through the effort, it's worth a shot. Boil them, and as soon as you take them out of the boiling water, bag them and throw them in your freezer until they're solid frozen.
Yeah.
And then take them out, say, a few hours later, and drop them straight into really hot oil. They're going to pop, so be careful, have your screen ready or be safe.
And then what happens to the texture? What, does it get a bit bumpy?
Well, as the steam's coming out, there's some of that starch is accumulating on the edges, on the surface of the sweet potato, and that extra starch makes it extra crispy.
Oh, nice. You want them crispy.
Then they're soft on the inside because it's been boiled.
Yeah.
And then they're extra crispy on the outside.
Oh, that sounds perfect. Absolutely delicious. Are there any other ways that they're cooked in Korea apart from that sweet one? Twigim. That's a good one as well.
Deep fried.
But I often find when you deep fry things at home, it's a lot of mess and work.
Sure.
Like, I know my wife doesn't like doing
on the street
that.
everywhere.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Go and get it like at a tteokbokki place or something like that.
That's exactly right.
And the rice cakes in the spicy sauce.
This time of year, you'll see these big barrels on the street with charcoal in them, and they've got these tubes. And when I first saw them, I was like, "What in the world is that?" But it's really cool. These long iron tubes will pull out of these. They look like barrel smokers, like we have back in the West. But they're not actually smoking them. They're just roasting these sweet potatoes in there, and then you can just wrap them up in a bag or newspaper, and then walk down the street and peel and eat.
It's delicious. But the sad thing is, I see less and less of those barrels about nowadays. Like when I was younger, it was that and chestnuts like everywhere in the winter time. But now I think it's replaced with more funky fusion. Hip
it has got
because
everybody's on a new trend.
Yeah, so that's a bit sad. And that dish we were talking about earlier, that was matang, wasn't it? Koguma matang.
Right,
The
exactly.
glazed one, which was delicious. So they're the main two types, I guess. And otherwise, it's just a good thing to eat by itself. I think that's why people don't develop that so much.
I grew up with knowing it as just kind of the casserole dessert with the marshmallows on top, which I was not a big fan of sweets when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, never needed that much sugar or candy. But so there was that. There was sweet potato pie. And then every once in a while I might see like a baked sweet potato with the butter and brown sugar. But we didn't do a whole lot with them. Of course, the sweet potatoes we use back in the West aren't as sweet as the ones we have here in Korea.
Yeah.
So we tend to add more sweetness to them, like in the pie and the casserole dessert, and in the other ones. So.
Wow. So you can just have a baked sweet potato with brown sugar.
Oh,
sprinkled
baby.
on it with butter.
Oh, man, I remember the first time I ever had one. I was a kid, and it was a restaurant in Texas that had sawdust on the floor for dancing.
Okay.
So you could dance better.
Really?
Yeah, no
they put
kidding.
it deliberately on the floor.
Yeah, I think it was
sawdust.
sawdust and like peanut shells. You know, when you sit down, they bring out a bowl of peanuts, and you can crack the peanuts to the shells on the ground. And,
What?
Yeah.
That's so
It's kind of
random.
gimmicky. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And they would bring out these giant sweet potatoes or yams, even, huge. And it's just loaded with butter and brown sugar, and that's just been roasted. That's wrapped in foil, thrown in the oven for a long time
With the sugar inside?
No, it's just
So that's
wrapped
just
up.
sprinkled at the end, so it doesn't melt or anything. It just
At the end, you cut it just like a baked potato,
Yeah.
and then throw in cinnamon, brown sugar, and butter.
Oh, that does sound good, and that would work even with the sweeter ones here.
Oh, absolutely. What do we call them? Skins, potato skins.
Yeah.
Okay, you've seen those where they'll boil or bake the potato, scrape out most of the potato, and then
load it with something.
and then
cheese.
they'll roast those more and get them crispier.
Yeah.
Then load it full of sour cream, cheese, bacon, chives.
Sure.
We did the same thing with sweet potatoes one year. Just combined fresh cream and sugar. Maybe whip the cream a little bit to make it a lighter texture.
Yeah.
And then get a piping bag like you're doing icing and fill back in that shell of the sweet potato.
Wow.
And then roast it off. So it's like a sweeter version kind of potato skins.
Awesome.
Yeah, it worked.
That sounds good. I don't want to do this at home, though. It sounds like too much work, so I want to buy it somewhere. So I have to find a restaurant for that. Okay, we're going to do What's in Your Fridge after a song break. There's a few messages coming in here for sweet potatoes, but maybe we'll get to those after a song break as well. We've been talking a lot. Let's play Park Jong-hyun with It's Gonna Be Okay. 생활의 발견. We're back for part 2 of Yes Chef, talking all about sweet potatoes in the first part, and lots of you guys seem to be interested in sweet potatoes with all these messages coming in. Moraine from Portugal says, we can find sweet potatoes here, but frankly, Portuguese people don't use it a lot. I believe maybe Brazilian people do cook sweet potatoes much more than us. Is that right, Chef Ryan? You said they're mostly originally from South America?
Yeah, most potato varieties, most people believe they all originated around Peru.
Oh, I see.
And there's like 4,000 different kinds
Amazing.
out there.
Okay.
Now, I didn't have a whole lot of sweet potato when I lived in Brazil. Down there, it's all cassava, mandioca.
Cassava's
the yucca
good,
root,
like fries.
Yeah, you know about this. Not everybody does.
In Indian cooking in the UK, a lot of people have that with
Sure.
some like spicy sauce sprinkled on it and things like this.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
they
called
grow.
mogo, I think. Mogo.
Oh, I haven't seen that name, but I've known it as mandioca or cassava or yucca, and I've seen it in Africa. I think that's where it originated from.
Yes,
It's
that's where they
root.
get it from as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this deep root, and it's a staple starch.
Yeah, it's a good substitute for a potato.
Man, I think they're way better.
Really?
Yeah, boiled and then fried, or even just boiled or steamed, and then a little salt over the top. And,
They do have a different texture. They're not as fluffy, I don't think, as potatoes.
It's definitely more dense.
Yeah.
More sustenance to it.
And it feels like, I don't know, it feels to me like they're healthier. I don't know if that's true at all, but it just feels to me.
Absolutely. They've got to be.
Yeah.
They've got to be.
We got a message here from Soap Doll, who's in Korea, about sweet potatoes. So do you say koguma? Yeah, I guess that's what we call them, right? They are kogumas in Korea. My son went to a fast food chain recently with a coupon for sweet potato, and he thought it was going to be potato with a sweet dipping sauce, but he was disappointed to find it was koguma for sweet potatoes. Oh, dear.
Bummer.
And
It's like,
you've
what is this?
Exactly. This is not the unhealthy thing I wanted. That's random, though. At a fast food restaurant, they give away sweet potatoes, especially not in the fried form. You've said jin goguma, so that's the steamed sweet potato with kimchi and milk, is very simple and good. Wow.
I've not had that with kimchi and milk. I've seen it with kimchi. Like you take a bite of like the sour kimchi with the steamed or roasted goguma.
And it balances it out. Yeah.
Right. It's a little funky. I mean, the first time I had it, I was like, really? You're going to put kimchi with sweet potato? But no, it works.
Yeah, and she says, I also put the sweet potato in takgalbi. Okay, sorry there. Which is the chicken with usually the spicy sauce. They usually have potato in there as well, so I guess a sweet potato
can work in there as well.
Yeah, it's a good
you know what I just remembered is something unique in Korea. I've not seen this anywhere else, but that's the sweet potato on pizza.
On pizza, yes. The ring you get around the edge of the pizza.
Yeah, or it's sometimes just piped right onto each slice, you know. And I thought it was the strangest thing when I got here. I was like, why are you putting that sweet potato on my pizza?
Yes.
But it's all right. It's different.
It's not bad.
I'm a pepperoni fan, you know.
Sure.
But
if you like your classic pizzas, then maybe not for you. But I don't mind it. Like you, I was like, what is going on here? Like sometimes they put a ring of cheese around the outside.
It's not something you would expect, but yeah, the ring of cheese, that's popular, but the sweet potato, I've never seen that anywhere else other than here.
But they've got some quite funky ideas for pizzas in Korea.
Like, no rules, I love it.
Yeah, anything can go on there.
Sometimes I'm a little surprised at the combinations.
All sorts of seafood and things like that.
To each their own, you know?
Yeah, give it a try. Like, you've got to kind of whip it up, I guess, and have maybe some butter or something in there.
Right,
Make it nice and soft, and then pipe it over.
Yeah, it's not just straight sweet potato.
Not
too
lumps
dry.
of it. That'd be even more random. Will has asked the question, which I think we touched on, saying, are American potatoes, sweet potatoes, different to Korean ones? And like you said, the North American one's a little less sweet.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would say, Will, is that the ones that we're used to, I think they're called a Beauregard sweet potato. It's larger. It's not as sweet. So that's why we add so much sugar to them all the time in most of the recipes.
So they get quite big, do they, the ones in North America?
Right. Sweet potatoes and yams both are usually sold where they're, over a pound a piece.
Oh, wow. Because here in Korea, I find it increasingly actually difficult to find big sweet potatoes. You get them in bags at the supermarket, and now they're all like the little long ones and thin ones.
That must be because that's what people prefer, because I've grown them myself here, and you can grow them big.
Really?
Like I had some come up that were almost the size of soccer balls.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Because I just I dug that one up a little late, but yeah. So it must be about preference.
I suppose, just as like a snack when you're on the go.
Yeah, I mean, how do you? It did take me a while to
eat the whole
to
thing,
find the right time to cook the giant one. Yeah, when you got enough people over to help you eat it all.
That's cool. And Will goes on to say, also don't forget this sweet potato pies with pecans on top.
Oh yeah.
Oh, does it go well with that? Like a pecan pie?
I didn't grow up with it that way, but that makes sense. I've seen all kinds of recipes. But once you get sweet potato pecans, you can get honey in there, brown sugar. Yeah, all that works together really well.
Sounds good. And Siska has posted up a photo for all our listeners to watch, to see as well. Type in hashtag Dailyk. Yeah, the chewy sweet potato balls.
It is with rice.
They look like
rice powder. Yeah,
glutinous rice balls here in Korea that you can get.
Oh, I can imagine the texture. That's really cool. Oh, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, Siska, we can all mouthwater now and get even hungrier in the studio. No thanks at all from me. And on to what's in your fridge. We've got a few to get through. And I don't think they were that bad this week, right?
Oh man, so far so good. Let's see here. I'm going to start with Mireille here has some nice things in her fridge here. Late at night in Portugal over there. Yeah. We've got mushrooms, bananas, yogurts, noodles, cheese, ham, tofu, cucumber, and sweet potatoes.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm going to put all of this into one dish, but check this out. Bananas and sweet potatoes, I've seen used before. I would give this a shot.
Together?
Yeah, I would make a banana sweet potato pie, maybe. Yeah. If you had some kind of nuts, like the pecans, like we were talking about, And yeah, you could almost do like a crumble. Mireille, if you've ever had a crumble, I'll do this a lot with rhubarb or blueberries or blackberries. It's the easiest kind of pie cobbler dessert to make because you don't have to make a crust.
Okay, it's all crumbly, yeah. Like apple crumble we have in the UK.
If you've got a food processor or even just a heavy bowl and a fork and cold butter, you just kind of break the butter into flour.
Yeah.
And then get a bunch of sugar in there too, you know? And then that just goes over the top of like a, cut up into about bite-sized pieces of the bananas and the boiled sweet potato.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already soft, the banana's already soft. And put that in a baking dish and then put the crumble over the top. If you got some pecans, get those in there too.
The crumble is just flour, butter, and
sugar.
That's it?
That's it, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
And that comes all crumbly like a little biscuit crumble kind of thing?
Yes, it will, because the butter will melt.
Never knew it was that
and the
easy.
Sugar will caramelize and the flour will crisp up. And so you get some really nice textures. Some of it will be a little bit gooey towards the bottom, and then towards the top it'll be nice and kind of crunchy almost.
And that's it for that dessert?
That's all you really have to do. Those things together work really well. You know, honey... I love using honey rather than like white sugar if you can, or different kinds of syrup would go really well with a walnut or a pecan. But that's what I would do, and that would be a dessert that'd be up my alley.
That sounds so simple as well. I like it.
Yeah, but don't eat that at 2 a.m.
No, not for now, because that's going to go straight to your hips, Marie. Another one?
All right, we've got Anne. In Singapore, we've got shiitake mushroom, spinach, sweet potato, avocado, broccoli, honey, and kimchi.
Wow.
And doenjang, or his fermented soybean paste.
Nice.
Boy, oh boy, I want to use the sweet potato, but how? Peter, how do we put the sweet potato with spinach? No.
With the
shiitake mushroom? No. You know, I'm intrigued with the idea of avocado and sweet potato
together.
Ooh,
that would be random.
Okay, you know, in South America, in Brazil, avocados are used in a sweet way. They're made into milkshakes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
How do they do that with sugar and
ice cream, sugar and milk blended, and it works. You know, as you move further north into like Colombia or Central America, they'll do both. They'll do a savory avocado dish and sweet. And then you get up towards Mexico, and they don't want the sweet. They just want the savory.
That's an interesting difference.
Yeah,
moving up there.
You know, I got a feeling, I've never tried this, and but you know, I got a feeling if you steam the sweet potato and then kind of whip it with the avocado, I want to put it almost into kind of a almost like a fried, like a cannoli. Do you know Italian?
Yes,
you know
where they
cannolis?
stuff the pasta with like spinach usually or something.
Yeah, well, not a cannelloni.
Oh, okay.
Not a cannelloni, a cannoli.
Okay.
That's funny. I made that mistake when I was a kid. I was ordering delivery Italian, and I accidentally ordered a cannoli instead of a cannoli.
What is a cannoli?
It's an Italian dessert. It's in a really crispy. Think of it like almost like a flauta or a deep fried taco. Okay, but so it's a crunchy shell, and then piped inside is a sweet filling.
Ooh.
And I'm thinking if you had those textures,
they look gorgeous.
All right, so I bet if you steamed the sweet potato and then whipped it with the avocado and added a little honey and then you kind of piped it into a crunchy shell like a cannoli, not a cannelloni.
No.
A cannoli. I bet you that'd be a really neat dessert. That would work. And you've got the honey and the sweet potato and the avocado. You just need some kind of crispy, because you want a textural contrast.
Yeah.
Something crunchy to go with all the softness of the sweet potato and avocado.
Wow.
I bet that would work though.
Really, sweet potato avocado. I don't know if I like avocado. I'm still undecided.
Going sweet?
Yeah. No, not just going sweet. Just in general, like it's kind of got that freshness to it that I'm not a fan of. Like cucumbers. I hate cucumbers.
I don't know very many people that don't like avocado.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. I like it in sushi, obviously, in like a sushi roll and stuff. And with other things, like I'll just put it with a meat in seaweed and wrap it together.
Okay, sure.
And it tastes all right with a meat to balance it out.
Guacamole fan or
not massively,
so much?
no. So I wonder how that would go together with sweet potato. be interesting.
Avocado is so versatile, and like we've been talking about today, sweet potato is so incredibly versatile. So I really think that would work. If you give that a try, and please let us know how it turns out.
Yeah.
Now I want to try it.
Post up some photos, please.
That is too cool. All right, have we got one more here?
Siska, I believe.
All right, what has Siska got in her fridge today?
She's confident it's not that bad, she said.
All right, different kinds of chocolates, eggs, beef sausage, red wine, chocolate milks and strawberry milks, some chilies, some mandarin oranges, and a papaya avocado mackerel. Oh my goodness.
This is quite diverse.
Let's see here. Mandarin oranges and chocolate go well together. The papaya avocado. Boy, mackerel and there's a lot of these things. Two of them can go together, but not any of the others.
We'll let you off, Ryan, with just two. What could you put the mackerel with, though, with those other ingredients?
I love mackerel.
Me too. But with papaya, avocado,
definitely
oranges,
with the chilies and the red wine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You could in some red wine.
Oh yeah. Avocado has that mackerel has that really strong smell. You can always tell if somebody's been cooking mackerel.
Sure.
But if you brine it or kind of cure it a little bit, get some salt on there, maybe sugar and salt, maybe some soju or some rice wine or red wine, and just kind of denature the meat a little bit and get it just marinate it,
Wow.
And that can come together well. But I don't know how to incorporate these other ingredients, Siska. You're killing me. Mandarin oranges and chocolates, I love those together. And
just eating them together.
Or you can melt down the chocolate and dip them in the orange. You've seen that before.
Ooh.
Papaya as well. I love papaya. They've got. Have you ever had green papaya?
No.
It's really spicy.
Spicy?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, I love like the Thai
spicy
green
fruit.
When it's green, it's spicy, and when it's ripe, it's really sweet. And when it's too ripe, it doesn't taste very good. Anyway, Siska, sorry I couldn't do better for you there, but yeah, the mackerel, the red wine, and the chilies, that goes well. Definitely you want to get some garlic or lemon juice in there if you can.
Yeah, and for dessert, have the oranges and papaya with the chocolate.
There you go.
Dip it in there. I think that sounds like a great meal, Ryan.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in with sweet potatoes, as ever, seasonal and very diverse as well. Many people seem to be really interested in that as an ingredient. We'll see you again next week.
Yes, sir.
Okay, take care. Thanks a lot. It's time for Handsome People. Well, that is the artist here with Shall We Dance?